Today I'm here with Jeanie Morgan. Thank you for coming in today, Miss Morgan.
Thank you for having me.
And you're here today because your son, Justin, is serving overseas in Iraq. Tell me a little bit about that.
Justin joined the Army in June of 2007 and is left in January 11th, and went into Kuwait, and from there he went into Iraq, and he's now serving in southern Baghdad.
How does it make you feel that your son is over there in the midst of all the violence?
First and foremost, I'm very proud of the decision that he made, because it was a conviction on his part that he needed to do this. On a mother's standpoint, or from a mother's standpoint, it scares me that he is amongst all of the violence. He serves at a combat outpost away from his main post, and he's out for 11 days at a time. So sometimes in those 11 days I don't have any contact with him, and it's a very scary time.
It's scary. What is his job over there? What does he do?
He actually serves in two capacities. He is a guard at a combat outpost, and then half of the time that he's out on those 11 days, he's actually out on patrol with the Iraqi Army.
Now, I understand that he had a different career path before he decided to join the military. Tell me about that.
He did. He has a degree in geology and did an internship with Pine Mountain Oil and Gas in Abingdon his junior year of college, and we really thought that that was what he wanted to do. But when he graduated from college, or as he was about to graduate, he had the conviction, of course, to do what he's doing, but he also said that he wasn't sure that geology was what he wanted to do, and he wasn't sure he had the discipline to find out on his own what exactly he wanted to do. And he thought the Army would give him that discipline.
So when do you think it triggered his mind to join up?
Well, we were actually there for Parent Weekend, and he said, he was telling us that across the road from where we were having lunch was his recruiter's office. And I said, "Your recruiter, did you find a job?" And of course he said, "No, the Army recruiter." So we had talked about it a little bit, but I really thought that maybe he might be joking a little bit, but come to find out it was not really a joke.
Did you ever expect that it would happen?
In the beginning I hoped and prayed that it wouldn't happen. I hoped that he would change his mind, but he didn't. He felt strongly that this is what he needed to do.
Now, what is the hardest part about him being overseas in Iraq?
Being totally out of contact with him on my part, that if I feel the need to talk to him, or that I can't call him, and that he's going to be gone for a year or 15 months, whatever it ends up being. That's the hard part, just not being able to get in touch with him when I feel that need to have contact with him. I have to wait.
Right. How often do you get to speak with him?
I usually talk to him about twice a week, sometimes more often, depending on what his duties are at the time. If he's in at his main post, we can talk online, but at the combat outpost that he's at when he's on patrol, he doesn't have computer. He can't take his laptop there. So I just have to wait for a phone call.
When you speak with him, can he give you any details about what he's doing, or can he tell you where he is or anything like that?
In the beginning, he could not tell me the combat outpost, but a couple of days ago there were some soldiers killed, and you may have heard about that on the news, that a rocket came into their combat outpost, and it was in southern Baghdad, and of course I immediately became very scared for Justin's safety, but he was able to call me the next day, and he was able to tell me then the name of the combat outpost where he is. So I knew that everything was okay for him, but some other mother's child was not so lucky.
That's right.
So,
is that something that always stays in the back of your mind?
Absolutely. We hold a prayer every morning at our office, and that's one of the things that we always pray, that the soldiers are safe, and we always lift Justin up, especially, but it's always in your mind.
I'm sure it is. sure it is. I'm sorry.
That's
So the big picture, when you see people protesting the war and you see people that are against the war, and sometimes it feels like maybe the troops aren't getting the support they deserve. Do you feel that way, or?
Absolutely. I kind of, throughout the day, take a peek at MSN on my computer just to see what's going on. And I have to admit, I didn't always do that. Before Justin was involved, I didn't, I followed the news, but I didn't follow it as closely as I do now. And when I see people protesting the war, that's absolutely their right. Mm. But it's absolutely a lot of people who have gone before them to make it possible for them to be able to do that.
How do you think that it makes him feel to see that going on at home?
I think at some capacity it bothers everyone who is serving, but another one is that the majority of the soldiers that are there because that's where they felt like they needed to be, and they felt like it was a cause that they needed to stand up for. So I think they can be proud of that.
Are you in touch with any other parents in the area whose sons or daughters are overseas?
Actually, my nephew, Michael, just came home in December. He's stationed out of Fort Hood, and he is career Army. He's a little older, well, quite a bit older than Justin, but he was in Iraq for 14 months, and he came home in December, and so we were very happy about that. But not so much people in the area. I just don't know, because Justin did enlist when he was in college, and he went to college in Kentucky, so he actually enlisted in Lexington, Kentucky.
Wow. Do you have anything else that you want to say or get off your chest, or tell Justin if maybe one day he gets to see this?
Just that I'm very, very proud of my son, and I'm proud of everyone that has the conviction to serve, because I think it's an unselfish act. I'm a little concerned that the fate of the war, or all the things that are newsworthy in the war, has been kind of dropped to the wayside. It's not mentioned so much. It's not always mentioned on the news when there's casualties. That the election is an important thing, but it's not the most important thing right now. There's other important things that need to get just as much news attention.
Is there anything that maybe you think he would want to say to our viewers?
Just don't forget that they're there and they're serving a purpose.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming by today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much.